Hi, this is Ron Moorhead. You're listening to Hastings County Sasquatch.
This is after I had come back inside from recording with my night vision camera, sets of eyes, over by the bed down area behind the garden. I was trembling as I was surprised and a little fearful. I was smoking at the same time and kept smoking while I kept the camera focused in that direction, so I wasn't really holding it too steady. But then I came in and told her, and then we came back out, I don't know how much longer later, to get some water out of the car and stuff, and something was on the other side of the large vehicle that's here in the driveway. This large truck. It was walking. It stopped when we stopped for a second, and then it started walking again. Mound here. Huge trees have fallen down last year. Huge trees. And we were standing right around here, Diane and I, when in the middle of the night in the dark, like 1:30 in the morning. We thought there was nothing going on, so we turned the cameras off. Well, stopped recording and then went to turn around, and something sounded like a tree was coming down, and then something landed somewhere in here. By the time I got the light back on, we couldn't tell. Nothing was moving. Stuff like there was another type of stump here, so we assumed that's what it was, but just didn't seem like anything was disturbed when we looked back, which was strange. But something definitely thumped, landed right behind us. And when I turned around, Diane was running back up the road behind me, and I can't show you that. So that's going to show their place, and they don't want it on film. I'm going to place the Twix here in a minute. Okay, sorry about I'm using my phone here. I'm not sure how they get around and behind the property there to go through the back field. They would have to transit this way at some point. It looks like they may come through here. There's a little bit of trampling, but not much. So I'm a little confused about that, unless they go over this mound of rock, dirt. I don't see a pathway coming through here around the rock. If you go further, a fence starts. That's not to say they can't step over it, but I'm going to look behind me here. Another bunch of down trees cut and laid in there. I doubt a Sasquatch did that. That was probably the storm that came through here. I think it was a small tornado. So maybe nature can bend and twist. Need a little home in there for something. Where should I place the Twix? Normally use Snickers, but they didn't have any when I went to the store. Walmart. See, there's the fence. It's about to my waist. I'm sure if I was standing in there, it'd be up to my chest. Back it off here. I don't see anywhere they would have stepped over it. Unless they use a different path each time. Maybe get a Snickers up on here. Sorry, let me film what I'm doing. I don't think that's going to stay. Some people are against gifting. I know. We've had some success with it at another location. This is the first time here we've done this, and it's with the owner's permission. Jack and Diane have given us permission to do this. So we're going to put the other one so that the dogs don't get it. Right up on that log there. Break an ankle. Catching a little bit of sun on that. Okay. See if we can get back out of here without falling. Ugh. The last time I was down here, this roadway was completely washed over with water. You didn't even think to drive through there, but now you could. Maybe we will. Some old fencing in there. Probably only been there for a century. Maybe. I mean, everything can hear me coming. There's dry leaves all over the ground. Okay. This is cool. Actually, I can go further. Something scrambling in the bush there. Oh, there's something over there, like a trailer type thing that sits in the back of a truck. If I'm picking that up there or not. Got a glare, can barely see what I'm looking at. Okay. Oh, there is a bridge here. God damn. The water was so high last time you couldn't even see this. But that was summer. Couple of thumps in that direction, but there was that trailer thing sit in the back of your truck thing. I forget what they're called. Anyway, that's right there. So I think there's somebody over there that could be chopping wood or something. All right. And we'll head back up. Cheers. I watched something walk out in front of me as soon as I turned this camera off. Okay, both are cracked open. When placing these here, I took a bite out of one and put it back in the package. I'm going to move them further down the trail where I heard a crack last night while I was behind me. I was further down the road ends here. Further down behind me, I was relieving myself out on the road. Nobody's around here. And I heard a wood crack down here. I apologize instead of just going to the bathroom. I'm leaving. So anyway, for what that's worth. We're back. New reports for you guys. The Madoc location, where the homesteader files, we call them. Jack and Diane.
Maybe we should just give her a quick recap on what happened, why we ended up here in the first place. So,
Yeah, let's go for it.
So I guess it was what?
2021, yeah.
2021. We originally went there in August, checked out the spot because they had some sightings.
Yeah.
They have a hydro line right away run through the back end of the property, and they often seen Sasquatch or something, big dark figure standing in the hydro line right away.
They'd seen it walking through a couple of times too, just sitting in their living room looking out the window. It just happens to.
That's right. So that was in August, and then things ramped up a little bit. So we decided we're going to spend a weekend with them over at their place, and
yeah.
So we did. We stayed in the trailer up there, and everything just unfolded. Here, Daryl, take it away. What happened?
Well, yeah, we showed up on the Saturday, October the 2nd, 2021. Nice little hobby farm there. They'd reported to us earlier that they were getting sightings, and at first it was stone throws, hits to a trailer that they have, a utility trailer that they have, thump, thump, and they'd go out looking for birds. There'd never be any birds around. And
because they assumed that they flew into the trailer.
Yeah, bumped into it. And so they didn't really find any rocks or anything, but they were hearing thumps on their trailer, and then they started to have the sightings. They'd only been there for less than a year in that property. They had just bought it.
We can get into great detail if you go back to one of our earlier episodes, but the first little bit of footage of watch at the beginning is a stabilized footage of what you captured there. Yeah. I think we should just
go with that, yeah. So we had broken off and taken naps, and I had already got first, and you were out in that trailer, actually. You can see it to the right of the shot, and you were having a little nap in there, and it wasn't too late at night. I went out to have a cigarette. As I was smoking, I just turned on the camera and pointed it back in behind the garden. Because previously they had reported that they had seen them or eye shine in back and behind their garden. And their garden had incidentally had been picked clean of tomatoes, and not the corn though, or the mint, but anything, like potatoes, all that was pulled out. And so I just thought I'd throw the camera on, pointed at those trees in behind, and there you go, eye shine, a couple of blinks. Now I was seeing 3 sets of eyes. As it shows here, it looks like there's only 1 or maybe 2. That's what I was seeing through the viewfinder when I was taking a photo. And I tried to just, act normal, continue to smoke, and I knew they could see me. And I tried to call out to you, Chris, say, "Hey, Chris, hey, come on out." And I didn't want to shout too loud. And then eventually went into the house. And then that's, I think, the video that if anybody wants to go back and view some of our videos in terms of this location, the Homesteader files, that has the video of the shot of my text to Chris, to you saying, "Hey man, are you up?" Whatever it is, you're missing some action. Because at that point, I'd been in the house a little while longer with Diane. We were chatting away, and we went out to the car to get some drinks, and I didn't want to go alone. And she came with me, and we went out to the car, and next to that car was parked a large rig that she drives. And I had my head in the car, and she goes, "Hey, Daryl." "Yeah, what?" She's like, "It's on the other side of the rig." So I pulled my head out of the car, and as we stayed quiet, and then we could hear into the trees off the road, and it went away quietly and then disappeared. We couldn't hear the sound. So we went back in the house, and that's when I sent that text to you.
Okay, from there, you also got a stick or something thrown at you. So that was up on the road right by your car. Where you're
that was later on. That was about 1:30 in the morning.
Okay.
And that stump, we did find a video, so we'll post it here. But here's the mound. And we thought we had eye shine over this way. I think that's the piece of wood that was thrown. It landed with quite a thud, and it came through The trees, I think, because I thought the whole tree was coming down. It's funny how that's laid up against that stick like that. Try and do that again. Just on the stick. That brought it home. We had already seen eye shine twice at this point. And this was thrown, I believe. There's nothing else that would have made it through. It's all crisscrossed here, and trees are down from.
I'm commentating on the entire thing, but we were filming down the road. Now, this is after we were standing on the road. This is hours later, 2-3 hours later, and we were shooting down the road. At one point, I thought I saw high up in a tree an eye shine and beside one of the trees, but then my card wouldn't. I couldn't record. My card was somehow maxed out, which was ridiculous. I didn't take that much video, so I thought that was strange. So later on, we're walking down there about 1:30 in the morning, and I was videotaping up on this large rocky outcrop that they have. Oh, well, nothing's going on, so we turned off the camera. And as we were standing there in the dark, like a huge, sounded like a tree was coming down behind us. And I whipped around, turned on my flashlight. When I finally got it out of my pockets, it's just a little one. And there was nothing moving. There was nothing there. And then I looked back, and then there goes Diane. She's rocketing up the driveway at Mach 2. So I was like, okay, well, I better get out of here. So I went with her. And that was, and you'll see the video that we posted about that. That was strange, that one too.
Yeah, so we got growled at. We got everything. We heard stomping. We heard everything walking all over the place in the field, to the south, to the north. We basically got surrounded.
Yeah, that was a little unnerving. And
then the next day, we searched around. We actually found some prints. Not so much prints. They didn't leave any prints. They were very careful on leaving prints, but you can see the vegetation that's been squished and flattened down where they stepped and walked up to the high points and whatnot.
Yeah, I went up on that mound, that rocky mound, the next day too, when Diane and I walked back down there, and it seemed all matted down. All the anything that was growing up on there was all crushed down and right in the middle of it. So I doubt it's a nest or anything like that. It looks way too uncomfortable. It was worth noting that too.
Observation point. Plus, we could smell them that night too. It smelled like somebody hasn't bathed the whole summer. That's what it smelled like.
Yeah, I wasn't picking up on that. You guys were, both of you.
You had a bit of a stuffy nose, I think. Anyhow,
time of the year.
We both picked it up. Fast forward to Friday the 13th, we went up for a secondary trip because I guess 2 weeks prior to our arrival, we had Diane indicated that she had some visitors up, and one of them observed one crossing that 2-track road.
Yeah, while he was out, they were having a bonfire. He went out to the road area discreetly to relieve himself, and he had looked down that direction.
The term is water the tree.
Water the tree?
Yeah.
Make a pothole on the road, one or the other. Yeah, he had said he saw it. So it was like, well, we got to come up for a visit. And they'd also reported they got cameras up now. They've also reported some of their cameras in the directions where they have heard some things go blue or black. And then they come on later. They've replaced the cameras, but the same thing happens over and over again. So they haven't had any of that incidents in a little while. But nothing comes up on the cameras when the lights come on, and if the sensor lights up around the prop they shoot on.
And from here, I'm just posting up some old footage when we were up there. You might not have seen this in previous episodes because here we are playing it. I'm also picking up the eye shine in the one particular video here. We should also note that they also had a small tornado go through. When was it? Early
last year, 2022.
Yeah, last summer, 2022. They had a little tornado that ripped down a lot of trees and everything, as you can see here. And also, from her side window, from her bedroom, she could look out across that road, and she was able to snap with her iPhone 12, pretty good night vision setting on it, or an exposure setting. She was able to snap a picture of 3 juvenile. I know in this picture here, the juvenile you can barely pick up, so we just Just small, looks like a small little ball. So we excluded him out of it. But here we have two subjects, one that's lying on the ground and one that's sort of halfway standing. I guess he was going to hit the ground too. I don't know. There's the sense that she was snapping a picture from what I understood.
Mm-hmm.
But I also asked Diane to get Jack to come out and stand in that same general area so we can get an idea about the shape and the size of the subject she caught on her iPhone. So here's a little snapshot of it.
Yeah, I remember when she sent that to us. That one was like, oh,
That was luck. That was a lucky catch.
Wow,
Pretty sure they're out there.
looks good to me, especially since they've seen them visually. So that's proof to their story.
She seems to think they were the juveniles,
Probably playing around, watching people TV.
and they made a mistake, and they got caught. So since we got the FLIR out there, we compared where the eye shine was that you captured by that trailer, and we got you to stand out in that general area here. So here's a comparison of where Daryl was standing, where the Sasquatch was standing, and well, you're pretty shrimpy compared to where that eye shine was.
Just a little guy.
Now, if we're going to compare the size of those eyeballs compared to a human eyeball from that distance, how many yards away would you say you were?
30, 40 feet.
Yeah.
And feet.
Your eyeballs would be really puny compared to the eyeballs
And
showing
it was
up
way above my head.
Yeah,
too.
way above.
From that. You were, yeah. When we took the shot, you stood almost where I was standing.
That was strange.
Strange group.
And here's another picture of you standing there. It's an ordinary camera. You can see where your head is from the top of the lattice there. That's about I don't know. I measured, I think it was around 7 feet or 6,
Yeah.
7 feet.
I'm
The
6'1",
lattice.
and I can walk underneath that. So it's a little archway they created.
Okay. So yeah, the eye shine was almost at the top of the arch of that ladder. So just to give you a scale of what we were looking at and what we were dealing with. Just the facts, Jack. Right? And the other, strange happening was a tree that got placed in that road. Tell us.
She messaged us and sent us some photos of large, well, not large, but how far across? Say maybe 2 inches, maybe 1.5, 2 inches across. And looks like it had been pulled out of the ground and placed on the driveway and on the road. And there's a picture that you'll see here of the dog sniffing it. It was interesting how the dog took a nose to that part.
Yeah, to the right where the break was.
So, yeah, that was strange. That wasn't there the previous day, and she had found it. I don't recall if she'd mentioned there was any commotion that night, but they found that on the road the next day.
Yeah, it's like their road doesn't get a whole lot of traffic anyway. So,
No, it basically ends at their place, except for that little bridge that you'll see in the videos here.
yeah, but it was covered in water back in those days. So, and again, we have
Some more things to look at, and we want to make sure everybody understands that we're not trying to be fooled by pareidolia. And there's one picture we're going to show here.
of that busted tree and the dog sniffing that branch. Some people are going to pick up and say, "Oh, there's a Sasquatch there peeking around the corner of the tree." We
Yeah.
spotted it too, and it's definitely leaves. It's a dark spot.
Effect on the eye.
So we beat you to it.
Yeah.
So moving forward, we went up there in October, Friday the 13th.
Yep.
Well, we must have arrived about 8:45 or something like that. It was already dark.
Yeah.
And so we're offloading our stuff. And what?
We ended up separated. I was talking with Jack over in behind the house about certain things. Doesn't matter what, and you and Diane were over by the trailer.
Yeah. I just no sooner put my sleeping bag down. I was out there chatting with her. And off in the distance, she said she could hear something moving in the hydro line right away. So from there, I broke out the night vision camera. I couldn't pick up anything because all the vegetation in my foreground was lit up by the IR light from it. So it was kind of useless. So I just put that down and I used the forward-looking infrared, the FLIR TK Scout, fired that up, and I was getting thermal images over by a tree from across the way. And the odd time I'm hearing other crunching going on in the field. So I'm panning to the right, to the left, and see if I can catch anything else going on out there. So anyways, long story short, I'm starting to see a small little image by the edge of a tree. And I thought I was imagining things. I hand the FLIR over to Diane, ask her to take a look straight across that field. What do you see from that tree? And she could see a human-like figure sort of swaying back and forth. You'll see in the video here. So she handed the FLIR back to me, and I'm looking back in through it, and that one figure starting to move a little closer to the foreground. So that was a little strange too. So that's when I called out to you,
Mm-hmm.
get your FLIR. So you had to go and break it out.
Yeah,
You
it
didn't
was
have it on you.
Well, it was in the car.
Oh,
It's right
so you got the FLIR out. So I'm busy walking some more. I'm snapping pictures too, and I'm starting to get a secondary hotspot because I had it on black hot palette setting on it. So now I'm picking up a secondary figure, another black spot on it, like because I have it on black hot. Then I hand the FLIR back over to Diane to take another peek at it. And she's looking at it too. She sees a secondary figure there. By that time, you're showing up with your FLIR and you're doing a little scan of the area.
Yeah, and I, got to get your orientation right when you're using these cameras. And I thought, I said even out loud at that point, oh, there's two of them. And I realized I was looking at two trees, the way that the foliage was wilted and hanging off them this time of the year. And it looked like a head and shoulders. And I thought, okay, no, pareidolia. Those are two trees.
Thermal pareidolia.
Thermal pareidolia. And then you said, come over, sit next to me. And I sat next to you and got down on my knee. And then I maybe they'd moved off. I just wasn't seeing it. I went through the settings, the different color levels, and even went to black hot. And I guess maybe I was looking in the wrong spot. Maybe I was looking over their heads. But you got a pretty good capture there. It was worth noting. Absolutely.
Yeah, I was sort of sitting in a chair here, so I was a stationary spot. Could brace my arms, so I was trying to keep the camera as steady as possible. The only thing I'd highly recommend using a monopod next time we're out.
Yeah,
but that's what we captured.
Yeah.
But
we'll cue up the photo. We'll show the photo of me standing back over there the next day.
Yeah, the very next day we get you standing out there, and again, all that is very tall grass. We got goldenrod all through there.
Yeah,
and
I'm actually standing on a rock that's about 3 feet high in that shot,
and we could barely see your head popping up.
Yeah. And when I was standing, there's a path back in there. And when I was standing there, even with my hand up in the air, or my hat off up in the air, when I was standing on the path, you couldn't see me. So that's why I stepped up on that rock.
Yeah, we couldn't see it because for the longest time, I can't see you.
Yeah. And then there's the other picture of me standing just off in the greenhouse. And that gives a comparison to what you were looking at.
Yeah, the white spot on the left-hand side, that's the greenhouse right there. Well, the next day, while we shot the comparison shot, you in that field of that hydroline right away, we also flew the drone over so you can get a fairly half-decent idea about the field of view we're looking at.
Yeah,
so
excellent.
And I'll put the measurements down about how many yards it was from my position to where those subjects were located. Other than that, that's our capture. That's our big capture.
That was that. Yeah, we can go on about what we did later that night and what happened too.
The fire, just weird. The coyotes, the wolves.
Yeah. Well, just wait though. Do you remember when, even before you guys got over to the fire, I was over at the fire with Jack, and then I had gone out to the road to water a tree again, just off to the side. And actually, I made a joke, ha ha ha, making a pothole in your road, and crack down the roadway.
Which way?
Down towards the dead end, down towards the bridge.
Okay.
And you guys were still over by the trailer, and I walkied you saying, "Did you hear that?" And you said, "No." I'm like, "Oh, but, yeah." And then I had said, "Sorry, I'll go back to the fire. I just go into the bathroom or something like that, or I'm leaving." I was like, "Holy, what's that?"
They're mad because you didn't bring the Snickers bar.
Oh, well, I didn't have Snickers bars because they didn't have any. I think I covered that on the video, so I bought Twix. And I put them out on the fence line just across from the house. And then they weren't taking that night.
Snickers, man.
Well, let's tell them what happened on the Saturday morning.
You go ahead.
Well, when the Saturday night, let's go into it. The Saturday night, we sat around the fire again. You had the recorders going. We had our cameras at the ready. And we were just making chat and talking like people do. And you guys were also hearing some stuff over in the field and stuff like that just to the east.
crunching and snapping and
Yeah.
very bad cow imitations.
Yeah,
Meaning like cattle, as in moo cows.
Yeah.
The only problem is the closest dairy farm or cattle farm, for that matter, is about 5 miles away, according
Probably.
to Diane.
Oh yeah, she would know.
Yeah. So it was. We got this mooing sound, literally sound like a big ass cow, right from the field right next to us.
The Minotaur.
So there's no cattle next door.
No, there's not. But we could hear things out there. It's easy to pick up. We heard some guys out talking and laughing and joking, and then they hopped on their four-wheelers, took off. You could hear all that stuff.
Mhm.
So you can pick out people over what seems to be strange sounds.
And again, I don't think anybody knew that we're heading out there, other than we might have announced it last podcast. Maybe we're heading up this way.
Yeah, I think we mentioned that we were coming up, but we didn't say exactly when because we didn't know.
I don't know. We did find somebody. Well, with the drone, I did find somebody camping towards the
Southeast.
south. And here's the picture right here. So I don't know whether that's somebody out there camping, pranking us, or whatever.
Blasting moo calls.
Yeah. And again, it was in the opposite direction where this guy was camped out. But, you know, got a picture of him.
There he is.
I don't know. But again, that was the next door neighbor's property anyway. So.
And then what time? What were we going to say? Go ahead.
Oh, and it could have been a moose hunter too, for that matter, because
Yeah.
moose season started on Monday in that area anyhow. So
Yeah.
maybe it was somebody doing some preseason scouting. Maybe, who knows?
So yeah, and what happened that next morning? We left quite early actually. So Jack and I said to Jack that morning, I said, I'm going to walk down and see what happened with those twigs that I placed the day before. And as we walked up on it, and I'm sorry to the audience, that's stupid me. I should have recorded that picking them up. But the twigs I'd placed on top of the tree was still there. And when I went to the one that was on the fence, it was gone. But I did find the wrapper had fallen down, and there was nothing in the wrapper. There was no twigs in it. I tried to look around. I looked around all around the fence. So something had got it. Oh, I can't say what got it, but that was gone. But the one up on top of the tree, incidentally, the one I had taken a bite out of, was still up on top of that tree. So they probably didn't want my dirty human germs there or whatever.
They never got the COVID shot.
Yeah.
Because apparently it worked.
Yeah. So what did we miss?
And then what? On Saturday, we decided to go take a cruise up the Millbridge, go and see if we can find that guy's place that sent us that owl.
Yeah, the howl. Nice.
Went for a cruise. We're out looking for wildlife.
What's the road called? We can mention that.
Old Hastings Road.
Old Hastings Road off Highway 62. We took a little drive on that, and it is quite squatchy in there. You would see some of the video of us going through.
Yeah.
Strange things can happen out there on a jokey note there.
Yeah.
But anyway, I almost missed that. I don't know how.
I managed to snap a picture. Anywho,
Some wildlife out
then we came across Steenberg Lake Road. That's where we ended up turning around. So,
there.
which coincidentally, I guess Thomas Steenberg is up from that area. He's one of the Sasquatch researchers out in BC, Alberta.
Yeah.
He actually hailed from that area.
Oh,
So I guess the
Didn't
name
know that.
family lived up there. So I guess hence the name Steenberg Road.
Yeah, we didn't get anything. Nothing crossed the road in front of us. No hairy animals or upright walking beings.
Not much.
It was a nice little drive.
Then we get back and do the campfire vigil again and
Mm-hmm.
crossed our fingers, hope that we'd pick something up either on the recorders or night vision. I think you caught a wildcat on the on your night vision camera on the road.
Back home and
No,
oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Well, here's the wildcat.
Yeah,
Walking
here
around,
it is.
having a good lick. Going out to make sure that the mice are taken care of.
And unfortunately, that's our wildcat story. But again, what we mostly got up there was during that evening was like coyote howls and whatnot. We didn't hear any mooing or anything like that.
There was a couple of cracks, snap, crackle pops off in the distance, but I
Can't tell what it was.
couldn't tell if it was an echo from the fire.
We did.
crackling away.
We did the scan with the FLIR. Couldn't really pick anything up, night vision, what have you.
Yeah.
Sure would be handy to have a thermal drone there too. So,
Oh, we would like to have a thermal drone. Isn't that right, Chris?
well, here's a picture right here of a particular model, the DJI M30T. Well,
Beautiful.
that would be perfect. So,
Makes sub-mop.
all weather, we could put that up there in the evening. There, we could scan from quite a distance. So,
That is the goal, and we have Project Overwatch going on, and that's on the GoFundMe page if you'd like to. The links will be in the description below, and that's what we're trying to do. At least if we could get $1 or at least enough for a coffee for us to keep us going, we can see how much we can amass. And
I got my own coffee money. We just need to get
drone money.
We need to get that drone money because that would come in handy
Yeah, excellent.
on
Yes.
some of the investigations, especially when you have one wandering in close to observe you. We can launch one and actually catch one in the act.
I mean-
Oops.
Sorry?
Goal is
And the goal is between the three of us groups, Hastings County Sasquatch being us, Ontario Sasquatch, and Upper Canada Sasquatch. But the goal is, as we teamed up, to get 3 drones in the 3 different areas that we operate in. And when we do come together to investigate a location like Mowat, up that way by Grundy Lake, we can actually bring all our drones together and actually increase our chances of getting one coming in close, especially at that location where they come up to the cottage or the hunting cabin all the time, steal stuff out of the barbecue, as we've talked about before.
well, even with that, even if we have the increase of available batteries, we'd be able to keep that drone up probably most of the weekend.
Yeah.
So even if we just run one drone, even though we have 2 other drones as spares, we can certainly utilize the batteries
Yeah,
on that investigation. So
Yeah, at least if we can get one.
it'd be a good start.
Good point for discovery.
So if you'd like to be a part of that discovery, we'll certainly acknowledge your sponsorship here.
Yeah, so check out Project Overwatch on their GoFundMe page. You can also see the links below, as I mentioned. So if you'd like to help us out, we'd like to keep the discovery going.
And I wish we had more exciting things to report,
That seems to be it. Yeah.
but we did catch something and we're sharing it with you.
Mhm.
Just think technology advances in our arsenal here.
Yeah.
The more great stuff we can share with you.
That's-
Consider supporting us.
Yeah, and that's it for the season. I don't think we're going to get out any more this year. It's been quite cold. That weekend we were up.
Well, yeah, but we could actually get out again because here's some of the tracks up around the Jack and Diane's place.
That
Here's
was-
some snow tracks that
Yeah.
came out. Classic tightrope walk.
Before we visited them, she had sent that photo to us
Yeah.
for the first time. Before the first time we visited them, she was showing us that stuff. So wow.
Well, yeah, we could do investigation where it's using the drone, just using the thermal, and it'd definitely pick up something
Yeah,
during
hiding
that
in that
cold
weather.
weather for sure.
It's
So,
just that it'll figure out if they hibernate or not. But obviously, with those footprints, they don't.
well, they're out and about, obviously. So we could technically still be out there in the field,
See what happens.
but unfortunately, we got limited resources. But that's why we're asking you guys for help.
And that would be very thankful for that. So I would be.
In closing, what else did we miss? Anything else we talk about? Other than that, I don't think we're going to be heading out anywhere for camping, or unless we're at a cottage somewhere. Or,
Where you can stay warm, nice fire.
other than that, you got an encounter or you want to share something with us, hc.sasquatch@protonmail.com.
Or on our Facebook page, private message at Hastings County Sasquatch on Facebook. It's easy to do. And you can also post your comments below on our YouTube videos that you're watching here.
And like and subscribe.
And we could use that. A little bit of attention, a little bit of love. And I guess we're signing off for now. Hastings County Sasquatch.